rolled out, have rolled out, ruled out with a different spelling because we are not rolling out something, we're ruling out. Oh, I'm super excited. You and I are going to hold a party this weekend. It's a wonderful idea. Let's invite everybody over. Let's see. How can we invite them? I know. Let's use a pigeon post. A pigeon post. What do you mean you have never heard of pigeon post? It's a pigeon. You write the invitation letter on a small piece of paper and then you attach the paper to the leg of the pigeon and you let the pigeon go. Oh, I see. Oh, Oh, that's the reason we cannot do that. Okay. All right. No problem. No problem. We're going to do smoke signal. It's easy. Everybody can see. It's illegal. Apartments? Oh, you're right. We cannot go to the roof and create an open fire. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, the police and that. Yeah, yeah. No, forget it. No, no. Smoke signal doesn't work. This has to work. We send Morse code. Morse code. It's just a bunch of dots and lines. We send Morse code to everybody and they don't know. What do you mean they don't understand Morse? They don't know? It's outdated. Which year is this? I see. Then how do you communicate with the people these days? How do you send messages? There you go. Now I understand. Well, welcome to IELTS Juice. You're wondering why I'm asking you these questions. Well, the topic today is an essay with this rubric or this prompt. It says modern communications mean that it is no longer necessary to write letters. I just named some of the outdated methods that we used to do for our own communications. And apparently in this case, letter is joining them very, very fast. The good old pen and paper and your handwriting on a piece of paper, and then you put it in an envelope and you seal the envelope, hopefully not using your tongue, but many people used to do so. And then you put a stamp on the envelope or two or three, depending on the destination. And you needed to know where to write the sender's address and where to write the receiver's address. And finally, you would go to the nearest post office or a mailbox and you would drop it into the mailbox. And oh my gosh, this is so nostalgic. And maybe Postman Pat would come and pick up your envelope and the letter, and he would take it to the post office and send it to its destination. Anyway, forget the nostalgia. It's an opinion essay. We're going to talk about this topic. We're comparing the modern methods of communication versus letters, but we are not doing this comparison to find the advantages and disadvantages. We are doing this in a way to say whether, with the presence of modern communicational tools, the traditional letters are still required or not. If they are required, why? Because I am going to talk about my own opinion, and if not, again, why? And the whole focus of the essay is on my opinion. With that in mind, let's look at the candidate's response. It is generally argued that contemporary types of humans interaction is weird. It's correct, but weird. You can simply say human interaction or human interaction have, pardon me, rolled out have rolled out, ruled out with a different spelling, because we are not rolling out something, we're ruling out. This is a bad error. If we make a spelling mistake and the new result is a new word, is another word, or another entry in a dictionary, then that's not a very good error. That's among some of the bad errors. Ruled out the necessity, good word, of writing letters. I need something here. There has to be a full stop or a semicolon. I suggest a full stop. I personally agree with the point of view, with this point of view. If we say the point of view, then we need to define what point of view we're talking about. We already talked about the point of view. So we simply say this point of view, and our word this refers to the sentence that came just before this new sentence. This point of view, I don't need this comma, and believe the technology along with the modern lifestyle which people experience these days replace letters. Bit more efficient means of communication. With replace letters with more efficient means of communication. I guess not bit. Why bit? Yeah, I guess it's a mistake. It's with more efficient means of communication. This is good. Means of communication is a very good collocation. So our introduction has two sentences, which is okay. The second sentence is a complex sentence. I received multiple messages, and I received the messages I wanted to hear, so I'm okay with the result. I understand now that the writer believes in this modern time, in this contemporary lifestyle that we have, using modern communicational tools or means is very, very common, and people do not use letters, and letters are becoming obsolete, like the pigeon post, and after that the smoke signal and Morse codes. Anyway, now I would like to move on to the, it's a big body paragraph, but to the first body paragraph here. One of the main arguments against classic methods of, I have to say something before we move on. I know the whole essay is going to be the writer's opinion. I don't know exactly the pillars of the writer's opinion. I don't know how the writer is going to say that his or her opinion is based on A and B. I don't know those A and Bs. And I am assuming we have a soup or a mass of words and grammar structures and sentences, and all of them are going to support the writer's opinion. So because I don't know, I didn't hear that, or I didn't see that in the introduction. Moving on. One of the main arguments against classic methods of interaction, including landlines and paper-based letters, I would have added 1 comma here and 1 comma here, because basically this part is extra information. And I can read the whole thing without reading this part. Would you like me to try it? Okay. One of the main arguments against classic methods of interaction is, and then you carry on with the rest of the sentence. So the verb is here. This giant group of words is actually your subject. And this is the main verb. Is The technology offers alternative choices representing more rapid and affordable ways for people to access each other. Okay, whoa, 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 hold on a minute. I think it's not that, it should be that. Is that technology offers alternative choices representing, this is good, more rapid and affordable ways for people to access each other. I understand the message. Accessing people is usually a legal term or a business term. You usually say you have access to top tier engineers or physicians or doctors. Basically, normal people, when they want to be in contact with each other, they use this structure, like to stay in contact, stay in touch, keep in touch. They stay close. They remain connected. Those are the words and phrases people usually use. I don't know, when was the last time you heard your friends say, "Oh, I have access to my mother"? Doesn't doesn't sound very beautiful. Taking advantage of telecommunication technologies, phone and internet operators now claim, basically this means that these operators are using telecommunication technologies. So I don't know, some of these giant phone companies, they are using telecommunication technologies for to their own benefit. So it's fine, it's natural, it's exactly what is happening around the world with this new technology. Now claim that they not only cover the residential areas, but also be able to cover the majority of remote margins. I would have said again, areas, because we're talking about coverage and, satellite coverage, internet coverage, SMS coverage. Not only that, the affordable telecommunication devices, along with the relevant social network applications constantly updated by developers and manufacturers, have thoroughly dependent communications on these products. Whoa! Oh, this is beautiful. This is, after all those errors, miscommunications, messages, issues, difficulties that I saw and went through and experienced, all of a sudden, this is such a powerful, beautifully written sentence, complex, filled with different grammatical structures. I'm blown away. This is just a little island in the middle of this ocean that is actually stable and is, well, decently good enough for me to enjoy. Therefore, in this environment in which reaching people is fast and inexpensive, thanks to technology, applying matters to communicate may be the last choice. I'm sorry, what does this part mean? Applying matters to communicate may be the last choice? Applying matters to communicate may be the last choice. I see. So it's not maybe. It's not like, is it going to rain? Maybe. It's not that maybe. It actually is like can be, might be. We need a space in between. So applying matters to communicate may be the last choice. It's a bit weird, like applying matters. I'm struggling to understand what the message is. What is the message? Applying matters to communicate may be the last choice. I cannot understand what the writer really wanted to say here. This is now very bad. When the reader is confused, then lexical resource scores go way down. What is more, the new lifestyle is all one word. The new lifestyle, which the modern era has put on the table, bam! I like this way. So, not that angrily, of course, has particularly outdated the old-fashioned means of communication. Outdated the old-fashioned means of communication. What just happened? Why is there a break in between? This should be here. We should start our sentence from this location. Why is it on a new line? Anyway, it's not correct. Indeed, people nowadays prefer brief and fast methods. Too many commas. This is actually correctly punctuated, so I'm just suggesting here. My suggestion is we put nowadays next to indeed, and we say indeed nowadays, and then we put one comma. People prefer brief and fast methods. That would be more natural. To communicate, methods for communication, such as messaging with their relevant applications. Oh, the apps, phone applications. I see. Not job applications. With their relevant applications, in comparison with the tedious, beautiful, tedious, and time-consuming, beautiful way of writing letters. Oh, this is good. We're now finally mentioning that, yes, sadly, the time for letters is up. Another challenge, so this, this paragraph had only 2 sentences. It should be, are these guys together or they're separate? I don't know. Paragraphing is a bit of a mystery to me now. Another challenge with writing letters, it should be pluralized, is, I don't need a comma, is that the letters, I don't need that, are usually shipped to an address. I get the message, and it might technically happen, but usually letters are mailed or posted. We usually ship cargoes and parcels. So we are going to talk about addresses and mailing. Let's see. In the past, now I need a comma. People were quietly static. What do you mean? They used to be silent, and they used to stand up or sit down. Quiet? Why quiet? Why quiet? In terms of challenging their living places. Challenge? No, it's not challenging. What is this word? Klehanging. Oh, I guess this is changing. This is wrong. I don't need this L. So changing their living places. I'm still lost. So they rarely change their address. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I got the idea. In the past, people were quite static. I'm not sure if this is a correct way to say it. We could say in the past, people weren't able to easily improve their standard of living, meaning they used to live on a piece of land that they inherited from their fathers, and their fathers got the same land from their forefathers, and this went on and on and on and on. So these people had no choice but to stay on that land. They couldn't go anywhere else. That's why they remained static in this way, but static is not correct. What we want to touch on here is social mobility. That's the correct term. So there weren't much social mobility in the past. If you were born a farmer, you would die a farmer on the same farm. So you couldn't travel abroad, you couldn't see different places, you didn't have the chance to do so. Now I understand the message. The writer wants me to understand that because they couldn't move and the society wasn't so mobile, these people had the same address and they were tied to the land. So they couldn't move around. And if anybody wanted to contact them, it was easy. You just write a letter, send it to the address, and you knew the address doesn't change. And you were pretty much sure that the letter would reach the destination. Whereas the new lifestyle in which citizens are used to move from one location to another, again, lifestyle is one word, and yes, people go from one place to another. Archiving this method of communication, I think whereas cannot start as this sentence, it should connect to the previous one. And I don't need the comma, or you can put a comma before whereas. And then I'm not sure about this semicolon. I need a colon. If you want to know the difference, I'm going to put a lesson in the description below. Do check it out. Writing letters is inevitable. I really don't understand the writer's message here. Why do you mean archiving this method? You mean you're making it obsolete? You render it old and useless? Maybe, but archiving is something different. And then you say writing letters is inevitable. Why? I'm not sure this adjective is correct here. Inevitable? It means you have to write letters. Really? Or we're talking about modern lifestyle. I don't have to write letters. So this message is again misleading. In conclusion, these days, writing letters as a classic method of communication, I love the punctuation, not only is not essential, all right, this is not a good structure. We wanted to use inversion, but this is not inversion. Writing letters not only is no longer necessary, that is better, instead of writing not twice in just a span of 4 words, but also it does not meet the requirements of an efficacious way of conveyance. Whoa. Such a mouthful. Okay, it's a beautiful combination of words, but I'm not sure if it fits the context very well. I respect the attempts, really, truly, but at the same time, there are damaging errors here. 305 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Really, let me just touch on some of these items quickly. One, vocabulary errors. There are some errors, very noticeable. There are attempts. We acknowledge the attempts to use less common vocabulary, of course, and we give it a not wide range, because many of these less common lexical items can be used in any context. So they're not exactly genre specific. but the range is very good. It's sufficient. But my issue is that these errors here really affected my understanding. Some errors in grammar also affected my understanding. But the number of errors, or the amount of damage that vocabulary did to my understanding, was more than grammar. And same here. We had complex structures, but the errors in complex structures were, again, quite significant. I do not have much to say in coherence, cohesion, task response. For task response, we overgeneralized. And I really wanted to see some examples. The examples were given as if, yeah, I'm about to give you examples, but they weren't detailed. In case of the farmer, we could have just said something about farmers, about social mobility. And if you, for example, if you were the son of a farmer, you would spend all your life on the same land and you would die as a farmer. And that's just a very good example that we could use here. And about paragraphing, I'm still a little bit baffled. I'm a little confused why there were different lines. However, the paragraphing was just there to support the writer's claim, and the writer did not break down the areas where he wanted us to understand. The organization was generally logical, and all the sentences were supporting the writer's opinion. In that case, it was organized quite well. It's not sequential. It's not perfect. It is focused on one subject, but it's not very skillfully organized. I'm hoping that you had your takeaways from this assessment. If you wish to see a 7+ sample done on the same topic, there's a link in the description below that will take you to the IELTS Juice website, where you can have access to this video, to the exact sample, more information about this assessment, and below that you will see a very, very well written 7+ sample for the exact rubric here. On that note, I hope I'll be assessing your maybe essay, letter, report next time. Until then, take care.